Good morning. We're going to talk about the merger between Disney and Pixar. We are Carla Balaguer, Juan Fernando Gaona, Sofía Velázquez, and Alejandra Parr.
Okay, in this part, in the beginning of the collaboration, Disney and Pixar made an agreement that states that they will produce and distribute one computer animated movie together, that was Toy Story. Because of the popularity and success of the movie Toy Story, Disney and Pixar developed another contract in 1997 that agreed to jointly another 5 more movies over the next 10 years. And nearing the end of the collaboration deal in January of 2006, Walt Disney Company announced the acquisition of Pixar Animation Studios for 7.4 billion in all-stock transactions. Okay, this acquisition gave Disney the ownership of the world's most important computer animation studio and its talent. The timing was also perfect for Disney as its own movie and filming was failing. And the deal brought the technology company Apple more closer to Disney, and this also reduced the competition.
Okay, so Disney's main competitors are divided in 3 categories. The first one is TV, cable, and media, and their competitors are Viacom, Time Warner Cable, CBS, and Comcast. In the sports area, Disney owns ESPN, and they compete with NBC Sports, Fox Sports, and the NFL channel. And finally, in the theme park section, they compete with Six Flags, Universal Studios, and also Comcast. It's important to say that Disney ranks first in all of these categories. And then there's Pixar. Pixar competes with Nickelodeon Animation Studio, DreamWorks Animation Studio, Blue Skies, and well before the merger they competed with Walt Disney Animation Studios. Now the market position. So Disney before in the 90s had a period called the Renaissance era where they had the box office success Okay, so now the market position. First, Disney had an era called the Renaissance era that was in the 90s. This era was characterized because they had a huge box office success because they made a lot of movies that had a huge impact in society and pop culture. These movies were like The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Aladdin, Tarzan, and they inspired other studios like Fox's and Warner Bros. To make like their own animated movies, but they didn't do as well as they wanted. They also started to expand and they acquired Miramax Films and ESPN, and finally they were a huge, massive television success. But sadly, this wouldn't last, and then they went into the post-Renaissance era, also called the second dark age of Disney. In this era is where they started to have like a lot of problems in the animation part of the company because they created a lot of movies and they didn't have like the impact and the box office success that they needed. They also had like a lot of competition growth since DreamWorks and Blue Skies were starting to produce their own movies like Shrek and Ice Age, and they were having trouble since they were focused on 2D animation, but the public wanted 3D animation. So now Pixar, in the other hand, was like a huge success in the 90s and the 2000s. They made a lot of movies like Toy Story, A Bug's Life, Monsters Inc., and The Incredibles that were critically acclaimed by the academia, and they won multiple nominations and awards. So that's why Disney was like really interested in acquiring Pixar. And after the merge, they started to experience like a lot of growth for both companies, and they have like a lot of new movies that were like huge successes, like Inside Out or Coco. So now you can see that there was like a huge change after the merge.
Okay, in this part, at the beginning, Pixar had problems with its cash flow, so they decided to sell computers, and that was how the first agreement with Disney came about. Pixar was responsible of the production and the creation of the movies, and Disney handled the marketing and distribution. At that moment,
Disney had the rights of the movies and the characters and all the profit derived about the merchandising. So for Pixar, that wasn't enough money. For that reason, in 2004, they broke their relationship. But in after Disney made Chicken Little, they decided to return because that movie wasn't be the profit of that movie wasn't be higher like the others. Okay, the benefit. Pixar is a creative company, so Disney can have a wide catalog of cartoons, and with Disney, the Pixar cartoons can be can have the distribution, a good distribution by a famous company. As a result, both would obtain incomes.
Okay, the financial statements. The relationship between the two companies is based on the creation of stories and digital designs by Pixar. However, Disney was the main beneficiary in the economic aspect, since although the net income was distributed equity, and it received an extra of 12.5% of commission for distribution fees. Also, the company completed acquisition of all shares for Pixar, making Pixar a subsidiary for Disney. The purchase price was $7,500 million, $6,400 million after deducting the cash and investments owned by Pixar, which amounted to $1,100 million. And also the value of the issued share was calculated based on the market value of the company's shares. Disney paid approximately $16 per share to Pixar by delivering newly issued title from the new company. And given that agreement, several months to conclude it, and that share price increased about 10% since the beginning of 2006 due to investor speculation on it. It is possible to consider that the real payment exceeded 10%.